The Day of Judgment, there'll be a lot of noise, a lot of people running around, but there'll be a group of people on that day. They'll be sitting on thrones of marble, pearls, rubies, and their faces will be shining like the moon on the 14th night. And all of the people of the world will be amazed and shocked. Who are these people with their faces shining? Are they prophets? Are they Allah? Which part of your creation are these people that they are on this day of judgment, you have sat them on high pedestals, on high, and given them a high status? Allah will reply that these are those people who in the gathering in the masjid, they would sit down and they would do my dhikr, they would remember me. Subhanallah. At that time, the Sahaba, the noble companions, when they heard this was a massive announcement that this is a normal action and again such a big reward. But they, mashallah, the Sahaba were always immersed in dhikr. They were always occupied in dhikr. So they couldn't contemplate that there will come such a time, like now, the era we are living, that there will be nobody doing dhikr of Allah. That so busy we will be, so few and far between in the dunya doing dhikr of Allah. All other things that we will do, we will fill masjids for other purposes. Even if there's a small talk, the masjid will be filled. There will be announcements, etc. But where there will be discussion about dhikr of Allah, remembrance of Allah, there will only be a few people who will remember Allah. And such an opportunity, those who take advantage, the Prophet ﷺ has given the example of those people. There will be such high-level people that when such a situation will arise in the world, that there will be few and far people, few and far between, that the whole of the deen of Islam relies on the dhikr of Allah, but there are so few people today who do dhikr of Allah. Such a great reward Allah gives for His dhikr. The whole Quran, Allah Ta'ala praises those who remember Him. Allah has praised His dhikr. So this will become the situation this day and age. So it's clear that this is a sign of the Day of Judgment. The Qiyamah, Judgment Day is near to us. The Rasulullah said, "O Razin, shall I tell you an action that will strengthen your religion, Islam? That our deen will become so strong and firm that in front of Allah's orders, we don't care about the world, no money, no comfort, no assets, nothing." Do you want the deen like this? Brothers, whoever wants this, raise your hands. If you want your deen to be strong. Let me see and assess. MashaAllah, all of you want this? MashaAllah. So if I tell you the cure that you can make your deen strong, will you practice it? Okay, put your hands there. I'm not telling you this. Who's telling us this? Imamul Anbiya, the head of the prophets, is telling us what to do. You can't doubt him. In this condition, I'm telling you today that just like that man, we can become like him as well today. That his children are in this country, they give him the comfort. Our children shouldn't force us, "Dad, you don't give me this, you don't give us houses." And he's got a car, I ain't got a car, he's got a number plate, I ain't got a number plate. We don't need children like this. If we want children, we want those children who are nice and calm and satisfied and content with what they have. Do you understand what I'm saying? So about this, Rasulullah said, "O Razin, there's one action will give you strength in your deen, Islam. This is the life, the strong life. Strong platform, foundation. You don't care about, doesn't matter what country you're in. Just sacrifice. What's the definition of sacrifice? That we give our all for Allah. It's the fault of us that we could not fulfill your right, Allah. The most valuable thing, Allah, you gave us life, but we've not replied to your bounty, your favor that you gave to us this life, Allah. This is deen. This is iman. This is strength of deen. That's when you get satisfaction when you pray salah. But just temporarily to become a Muslim by name and to put deen, Islam behind our backs and to sacrifice the deen for the dunya, this is not deen, this is deception. You're deceiving yourself, deceiving the world. And very quickly, very soon, the person will go towards hell. So when a person assesses himself and he sees that there's nothing I've got apart from sins in my life, and when a person tells me that I'm sinning, I say, "Oh, it's a minor, yaar. It's just like me pulling the mosquito out of my eyes. It doesn't make any difference if I miss Salah in Jama'at. Oh, yaar, khair, it's okay. Dunya does that. People in the world, what difference does it make if I trim my beard, shave my beard? Everyone else is doing it. Doesn't matter if my wife or sister doesn't have parda hijab. Doesn't make any difference. Everyone's doing it. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? It's not necessary. It's not necessary. So this status in a person's life, when he's in that position of life, then completely that person is obeying and worshipping is a nafsi amara. He's immersed in the low base desires. He is destroyed when he has this state of affairs that in front of him there's no such thing as sin. It's a minor sinful actions. Lying doesn't make a difference. When he's working, yeah, doesn't matter, lie, yaar, let's just earn some money. Fraud, let's fraud, yaar, let's cheat people. It doesn't matter if no one's watching, listening, I don't care. When a person's in that position, then the Quran states that in this position, that person is where? He is in nafs amara, he is destroyed in the base desires. And that individual is just waiting for death. He has arrived to the banks of hell. He has arrived to the banks of hell. And in this position, to change this position, we need to flip that position to come towards Deen. May it not be that I live in this position, I die in this position when I commit sins and I don't even feel the sins. I have no shame. I have no shame. But when he feels that, how did I do this? How did I commit this sin? Yar, how did I leave Salat today? How did I leave the prayer today? I'm feeling so sad that I didn't arrive to the prayer in the masjid. How did I get to this position? And he should have regret, remorse himself. When he gets to that position, that's called nafs lawama. Nafs lawama. And so he's come to the middle position that he's questioning himself. He's thinking, I watched a film today, dirty film. I sat and I put my phone on and I watched the scenes on my phone screen. When he comes out of nafs amara, the low base desires, he comes to nafs lawama, then he starts to feel regret and remorse. Then he starts to feel and become aware. So he's in the second position, that when he commits a sin, because a human being, obviously until our death we can commit the sins. We're not angels. We can never get rid of this ability to commit sins because we're human beings. So when he commits the sin, he gets to the middle position now that he feels extreme shame and he turns to Allah and does astaghfar and he says, Allah forgive me. Allah forgive me. Allah, extreme regret and shame I'm feeling now. And I don't want to feel, how can I commit the sin, Allah? He does astaghfar, Allah, Allah. And then he gives punishment to his desires. And then he does hard work, mujahid, Allah, I don't want my nafs to commit the sins again. I won't consume haram again. I won't do haram again. I won't eat haram again. And this is now the person who's gone to the high nafs mutma'inna, high level nafs. These are the three positions. Nafs amara, lawama, and mutmainah. So we have to assess that what position am I in? Do I feel when I say, no, it's a mind, it doesn't matter, I don't need to pray, This is the most dangerous position for a believer. Remember this. And apart from hell, he will get no other punishment. So if we assess ourselves and make an assessment, then we need to assess which of these three positions have we stood in today. Then the Prophet of Allah ﷺ has told us that Deen of Islam, if you want to strengthen your Deen, and your both lives in this world and the hereafter are goodness and benefit, and you get goodness and well-being in this world. In other words, this dunya will become such a dunya, just like that brother I spoke to you about, that he lives a life of comfort. He's not comfortable and content with money. Rather, he's comfortable that Allah, I'm praying salah, I'm following your orders. Whatever you give to me, I'm eating, I'm passing the time by with whatever you give. And with great fervor, he says, Allah, I've got blessings in my earnings. Doesn't matter even if it's a little bit of money. Such blessings that Allah, the amount I can spend on my family, I just want that much. Allah, that I can spend on my family, fulfill the expenses. Doesn't matter if I don't get £1 more than that. MashaAllah, I can run my house on this. I'm content. So this is the life of barakah, blessings, where you're content, that you are earning, and you can spend enough on your food, and to get by monthly. And you are not worried about anything else in dunya, but you're worried about your deen. You want to strengthen your deen. You don't want your deen to be weak. So Allah, the Prophet of Allah has given us the cure today. We've raised our hands, so let's take the cure. Will we take the cure? MashaAllah. Of course, we have the desire, the passion to go in paradise, because you can't get Jannah through words. If I say to you, do this, and you listen today to the bayan and you leave, that don't make any difference. I've given you the discussion, bayan, talim, and the story. No. You have to practice. Our pious predecessors said, whenever you sit in a gathering, you listen to a bayan, a lecture, a discussion, the first make the niyyah before you come to this gathering. Allah, give me the ability, give me the strength that you have taken me to this gathering today. Whatever I hear today, Allah, allow me to practice that physically. That's the intention. And if you make this niyyah and you don't sit with this intention, then you will leave this gathering empty-handed. Rather, you get double punishment. Allah will ask you in the hereafter that I gave you such a great favor that you attended this gathering today where I allowed you to hear good talk, good discussion. I sent you to that gathering of Allah and you didn't even make the intention. You didn't even try that. Allah, these words that you delivered to me, inshallah, I will try my best to practice them. Allah, please give me the ability and enable me to practice. So my brothers, whenever you attend a gathering, always make an intention in advance. Allah, whatever you allow me to hear in that gathering, you say to me in the gathering, inshallah, I will try my best to practice that. Shaitan will say, oh, that's too hard for you to practice. Shaitan will inject in your ears. It's too hard. But is there anyone greater than Allah's power who can make it easy for us to practice? Remember this, if we are asking Allah for help before we come in, then how can Shaitan make it hard for us? We can't do anything. Allah, we couldn't even come to this gathering today if Allah didn't permit. Who made us do this? Allah permitted us to come here today. So have this hope and desire, Allah, make an intention in advance. Doesn't matter how hard is this intention. But Allah, make the intention, inshallah, that after today, the question doesn't arise, Allah, that Fajr Salah, I will delay it or leave it. Rather, you won't delay it, you will sit there, Fajr, and do dhikr after dhikr. After Salah, it might look hard, but Allah, I'm speaking to myself. Why can I do this? I'm speaking to Allah and asking for Allah help. That Allah, you are the one who will enable me. I can't do this. I'm powerless, Allah. But it's due to your power, Allah. I ask you and I make the intention, Allah may enable me, give the power, Allah. Don't just pray in the morning. Rather, I'll come to Fajr and I'll do dhikr until sunrise and get one Hajj and Umrah thawab. The dhikr of Allah takes place where dhikr of Allah rise to those houses. Then that house, the people of the heavens see the house like a sun or the moon shining on the earth. So at that time the person should think, how do we take dhikr to our houses? Now in every house, mashallah, through this mic and our system, we have dhikr of Allah. In the whole world this dhikr is going. The whole world, California, New York, Medina, Riyadh, and every city in the world, because wherever this voice is reaching, majlis, mashallah, dhikr is taking place. Khawateen sisters are listening to dhikr in their homes. They sat down, they're free from their household chores, and you'll see thousands of women and sisters are included in this gathering dhikr. Not just that the deen will finish, Allah's deen doesn't finish. Never can it happen. No, because Allah Ta'ala says, until Qiyamah, the dhikr of Allah, the gatherings will continue. But we step back, we leave the gathering. Don't think that, you think that the dhikr of Allah is finished? Never. Never. So I stated the dhikr of Allah, the gatherings, grab hold of them firmly, and when you are alone, in seclusion, then as long as you can, with the energy you got, the power, remember this, as much energy and ability you have, then do dhikr of Allah even when you're alone. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala